Hello Commanders, how are you doing today? I hope you all are doing very well. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the independent archives. There's a couple of different approaches I think you can take when you're looking at which loop you're going to work on, which one you want to max first. And this, of course, is going outside the box a little bit, past what Scopely's giving us. They've given us the Botany Bay track free. You'll have to get the building up to a certain level, and we'll look at that in a minute here. So take that for what it's worth. If you're a lower level player, then it may actually be of value to you. So we'll try and approach it. Since I'm a higher level player, I'll try and approach my way of thinking. So you can approach it however you would like to in your game to get the most value in your game, the most, I guess, time savings, more of your life back. So let's talk about it because the players matter. All right, here we are in game. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera real quick just so we can not have that in the way. So before we hop into the building and start talking about it, if you're new to the videos, to the channel, or if you've been here watching my videos for a while and you haven't subscribed yet, I would encourage you to do so. It really does help grow the channel, helps with the YouTube algorithm to get more of my videos out there to help out more people. So really appreciate it if you could do that. Sharing with your alliance and joining me on the Twitch stream that we do 2 nights a week right now. Just love interacting with the community and helping out the best way that I possibly can. So thank you so much. Okay, let's hop into it. Waste no more time. Here we go. Independent archives. So it's going to give you various things. For me, it's going to give some Sigma stuff because, well, yay, I'm a Sigma player now in Ops 60 plus. So reach out to me sometime if you want more detail. That's not the purpose of this video, but there's some, man, it's interesting. It's different. Okay, so and then there's the Chaos Tech efficiency stuff there too. I would say that's not the main point of doing this building. That is going to be here in the archive. So let's look at it. The first thing we're going to notice is when we hop into each one of these is they're going to have a track, and you have to max out your ship. And you also have to unlock all of these tiers. Now, like we said before, Scopely gave us the ability to unlock all of them right off the bat. With these other ones, they're going to cost these, what you call these cube things, archive data shards. Ooh, fancy name for another currency. Don't you love it? By the way, don't you wish that when you didn't have a need for a currency anymore, there was some conversion in game Scopely? When you're done with something and you're getting lots of it, make it like 100 Latinum or something. Get it out of my inventory. I don't need it. So anyways, as you progress, there's going to be these costs. And I know people have looked at the cost to max it. I mean, it doesn't look that expensive right here to actually max that. So that's something you'll have to consider. For example, the Talios, it's going to have more tiers, but even the 9th tier is more expensive. One I'm working at is quite a bit more expensive. So that's something you'll have to consider if you find it of value to you, what you can unlock quicker. So just something to keep in mind. Okay. And then when we look at each one of these, like I mentioned, you need to have your ship and you build your archive, independent archive building up to a certain level to get mastery on it. But once you get mastery, there's this claim down here. One click will get you all these goodies. So what I want you to think about, or what I would recommend that you think about, is as you look at these, which one of these is going to give you the most bang for your buck? What I mean by that is, where are you at in the game? Are you still using the Botany Bay? Well, this may be a fantastic thing for you. For you to be able to go in here and you see, okay, once I master this, have all the ship, the building, and I've finished it, then I'm able to get all this stuff as a daily claim. You're getting officer shards. For me, I've maxed Khan, I've maxed these officers, so not as valuable to me, but they might be for you. And Khan, for me, for a long time, was a very valuable officer. In fact, I still use him today, just not as much because there's other officers that kind of do the critical thing. So, and better officers for base rating. There was a time when I used to use him primarily for base rating, but not anymore. So anyways, you can get all the good stuff here for some of your turn-ins that you need to do each day, so that can be helpful to you. Another thing you want to think about is looking at all these buffs and bonuses it's going to give you. Mining speed is going to give you mining speed. Data mining speed, cost efficiency. Some of these will give you cargo capacity, like the one I'm working on for the Monavine will give you cargo capacity. So that can be helpful if you're trying to stock up on some more things, if you're still doing a loop. So that's something to consider. So where do I use this? The decoded data can be useful if you're still doing like your Stella, that you can, without having to mine any data, you can get enough for some turn-ins. So you're going to need to look at that and see what's valuable to you, what's of value to you. When you hop into the Vidar, it's giving you more loot drops, efficiency on components, damage versus hostiles, nanoprobe loot. So lots of good stuff there. Once again, this one's a little bit, can be interesting because it doesn't cost much. Let's see what we get here. We get the nanoprobes, both the chars and the active ones, independent credits, faction credits. Getting a daily increase of faction credits can be helpful. Borg solo directives. I mean, there's some good stuff in here. Primarily, I would say if you haven't, this one is attractive because it costs less to max than some of the other ones. I think when I'm looking at the Monavine, it's quite a bit more to max that one out. But you're getting faction credits here, you're getting reps, so that can be helpful to your gameplay. Vidar Talios, let's look at that one. So last tier, 800, not too bad compared to the Monavine. That one is a newer loop, so supposedly that's probably why it costs more. Max cargo increase, you can make more out of your trip each time you go to Borg space. Credit increase from the Solar Armadas, that can be helpful. So if you're struggling with some of that, this may be helpful to you in doing that. When we look at what you're getting more, quite a bit more faction credits. You're getting faction rep. I believe this is the max for that. You're getting more directives, at least chances for directives. One of the things I want to point out here, though, that I really like is the officer shards for Dzok and the Borg Queen. There's obviously been like some event stores where you can get some of these, and they don't have a little I button that I have been able to find. Actually, there's one right here. Let's see if it gives us a percentage chance. Looks like just information. Yeah, so I haven't been able to find a percentage chance on these right here where it says chance. Obviously, the guaranteed stuff up above here, you're going to be able to get all the way through here, which is great. So it can make your runs quicker. But talking about these officers, even having a slow drip of these is great because the main sourcing is through doing expansion cubes, and those are a pain in the butt to organize. So I do like seeing these here. Dzok, he's good for PvP, but you also need him below deck when you're doing Xindi Armadas. I've been able to, or started being able to, as an Op 60 player, when I got my Enterprise D up to a certain level, I was able to start doing some of the Xindi Armadas solo. So having having Dzok below decks can be, or is essential. And so having the chance to get some officer shards here is great for him. Borg Queen I have used on the bridge when I'm doing Borg solos, so you can determine if that's something valuable to you. But she also has the below deck ability for PvP that can be helpful for those into PvP. So interesting stuff in here, and you'll have to determine if those rewards are good for you. I do like anything that's adding like faction credits and rep, because anything that's going to easily add that to the game, I am all for. Voyager. So we've got mining bonus, cost efficiency bonus, Herogen bonus. So if you're still using the Voyager, getting this loop unlocked can be actually quite helpful to your gameplay. Looks like taking it to tier 12, that mastery is 2160. So that's where the cost is coming in here. It's either time or you're going to buy some packs to unlock this quicker. Let's look at the bonuses for maxing it. Delta coordinates, those can be helpful for some of the mining. These systems where you can take your Voyager and summon in those systems and actually get scout messages from the hostiles. As a reminder, they don't go on your ship. They actually go directly to your inventory. So that is something just to note for now, for future players who don't know that. Commerce insignia, you can turn that in for G4, G5 stuff in the for your turn-ins. There we go. Lose my head if it wasn't attached. So I turn in some stuff here. I like that it gives me like the ship XP. Oh, I forgot to grab the Fuchsia. I like getting the Latinum here. Latinum and ship parts. Ship parts I can use for turn-ins in the refinery for that, for more ship parts of other types. So this is pretty cool, pretty helpful here. So take it for what it's worth. That may be something that can help you in your gameplay as well. Let's look at the Monavine real quick. So when I look at this, I'm looking at, okay, net ship loot increase. That's helpful if you're trying to still do the loop. Apex barrier, not a ton, but it is there. The thing that I like the most and why I have chosen to look at this is there's guaranteed steel, titanium, dilithium. In the past, I had to kind of pick and choose between these. And then there's a chance for what? For materials. Materials are key in this game that can really bottleneck you sometimes. So we'll have to see how good the pulls are on this, but I'm a little excited that this may actually help my gameplay in a significant way. I've encouraged every player I've talked to that when you are doing your progression and you're getting into the 50s, low to mid 50s, if you haven't started working already, I tell players, get on the Monavine, do the loop. Why? Because you need tons of steel. You need tons of titanium. Dilithium too for research, but steel for your base is crazy expensive. So is titanium. Keep up on your research, but this is going to be a great thing as a daily claim to get the resources needed for turn-ins. So how would I approach this if I were you? How would I recommend that you approach this? Well, if it were me, there's a couple things I would think about. I would think about the cost. How much is it going to cost you to master one of these loops? I would look at what is your where are your current ships at? Do you need help because the loop is just that difficult for you? It's just annoying, and so you don't do it. There's value there, but you don't do it, right? So I would think about making loops you have easier, and then hopefully that will help you max that loop and get rid of it. So if Scopely's bringing out more loops, it won't be a big pain in the butt because you'll be able to shift timing your gameplay from doing these older loops or significantly reducing or helping to reduce the time with those, and you'll be able to shift that to some of the newer stuff, because I think that's the aim here, is to get you playing the new content. I would also look at these rewards. And I would say to myself, okay, what am I getting out of that? The reason why mainly, like I said, I'm going for this one is all the resources and materials. Materials are king. Like right now, I am scrapping as many coronars as I can to so I can max out my Enterprise D. I want to have a really strong ship there. I want to max it out. Almost have it to 10. But anyways, it's taken time and effort to get my ship where it needs to be. One thing it doesn't help with ships, if you're working on ships, is ship parts, but there's other things in the game, hopefully, that are helping out with that, like the Eviscerator. So I'd look at those two things, man. I'd say, what do I need simplified? What is giving me resource and materials? The things I need to advance to the next, to advance my ship, upgrade my ships, to do my research. If you have a desperate need for faction credits, maybe you don't go for this one because you're saying to yourself, you know what, I need a lot more faction credits in my game because I need more for that next ship. And it's certainly something worth investing in. Anytime you can get materials or credits, I think it's worthwhile, very much worth your time to invest in those things as much as possible. Consider it an investment. You put it in the upfront cost right now so that down the road, you're in a good place when you're trying to get a new ship and you're not like, well, I have 300,000 more faction credits I still need, so I can't go up. So please consider these thoughts, consider the methodology, look at where you're at, and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you down below, or join us on Discord or on Twitch when we live stream. Love to hear from you. Love interacting with the community and helping out where I can. So yeah, let me know how it's going, and which loop did you find most interesting? Put that down below. Love to hear from you. Anyways, thanks so much, Commanders. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you next time.